Hello everyone, welcome to another weekly market review. It is the 19th of April 2021. We've had a big sell-off in cryptocurrencies. There's a lot of great opportunities awaiting us. Let's have a look at what we have going on for us. Here's the total market cap on the weekly time frame, and you can see what we did 2 weeks ago. We had a big resistance here, close to 1.75 trillion, consolidated below it, and then we broke out. So we had 2 weeks of a strong move from that breakout. And what have we done last week? It's just a very volatile candle. We have to go to a lower time frame, but just on the weekly, if you're looking at it, this is the ADX on the DMI. You can see very clear divergence. ADX has flattened out. It's not really moving up or down yet, but ADX has been flat since February. But anyway, on the DMI, we've had triple divergences, and currently it's again kind of flattening out. If this starts to move down again, then this is a fourth divergence. On a higher time frame, basically what this shows is that the momentum has been declining. Okay, let's look at it on the daily. So on the daily, you have that same consolidation that I was talking to you about. This is the big resistance. The weekly is refined, much more refined to a 3-day level. But what we did is quite a bullish consolidation. We broke out of it, and yesterday what we did is wicked. But if you look at the 3-day, if you look at the daily, price does not close below the top of this channel. But nonetheless, just look at the fib retracement as well. Now it's close to the golden pocket, but in terms of the volume, basically price where it got supported is the anchored VWAPs of this consolidation. So very interesting level here. In terms of the total market cap, what we have for now in terms of information is we have declining volume on a higher time frame. Now we have a very strong rejection for the fourth time on that declining volume. What you need to see on another high time frame note is this monthly chart. Okay, so just look at the monthly. We have 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. This is going to be the 7th month, but we had 6 consecutive months moving up. It's a very strong uptrend. So even when it has to slow down, it can take a very long period of time. You can see that here on the weekly time frame. Gradually the momentum's been slowing down. Price though on the daily, you can see built a consolidation, broke out, retested on a lower time frame, but again retested on a higher time frame. So what does that make it? It gives us a very key level. This level on the retest along with the mid channel. So it's close to 1.75 trillion. What I would say is you want to make a very bearish case for the market. Now this is the level that will have to be flipped into resistance. So on a macro time frame, I would say this is what I would be looking at. This key level, which we have just tested as support and wicked out of, I would like this to flip into resistance. In terms of another bigger picture, we will have to look at Bitcoin and what it is doing. We'll have to look at altcoins and what they're doing. But in terms of the total market cap, what we have is here, look, resistance, fake out, resistance again, breakout, support, move back up, came back down, it's support again. So for now, this becomes the key level. Tested as resistance a couple of times, came back, tested as support now for the second time successfully. So what you really need is for the market to come back down, break this, test it as support, as resistance. If the market starts to do that, I would be looking for downside. But for now, this is nothing but a breakout and a confirmation of support. This is there's a lot of volatility, so there's a big gap over here. Depending on what altcoins do, there is a probability for price to fill this inefficiency and fill this gap as well. So in that case, what I would say is that if we are to come back down and test this and confirm this as support, would give a great place to manage risk. We break that, test it as resistance, again great place to manage risk for downside. So what price has done yesterday has given us a key level, and what continues to support a bullish case for the total market cap is that this entire consolidation, price has broken down and supported it. The anchored VWAP is basically where all the trading and the volume of this entire consolidation since 22nd, 23rd of February, price is still supporting that. So if you're coming down again, this anchored VWAP becomes a key level to be able to build our bias from. Let's go down to the 4 hour. So on the 4 hour, this is what we were looking at. Okay, so we had a breakout from this channel. We tested the top of the channel as support, broke back up. We were just starting to get a bit parabolic until the night of 17th April. Start to get a rejection over here. So let me tell you what I was seeing. This is where I alerted everybody in the Discord, because I was looking at the total market cap, and on the hourly we had already broken down below this. So this is a rejection of a parabolic move, but also a clear triple top that was forming on the total market cap chart. This by no means was bullish. This, and again you can see, is a very strong move. So there's a big gap, at least all the way down till the channel top, but we couldn't say how far down it had to come. Of course, cascading liquidations brought it to a very key level. And on the 4 hour, what you can see is very nicely, we also took all the liquidity below here. Look, equal lows, 1 2 3, so much liquidity. This is a lot of liquidity. Price supporting. This was a key support resistance flip. There's so many stops right below here. Price came right back down, took all this liquidity. We've broken back above, but on a higher time frame, what I would say is even on the 4 hour, momentum's taken a big hit. So it does need a bit of a reset, and price has inefficiencies, low momentum. These are the things to take care of for this market. So what I would say is, for now, at least on the total market cap, you have a clean support level, strong reaction from it. Liquidity has been taken. We have a big efficiency. So these are mixed signals. It's showing that there could be strength from this level, but momentum is declining. So what it would suggest is there is potential for another pullback. There is potential to ideally want to test this level again, but the momentum needs to sort itself out. Apart from that, there's no confirmation of any end of market or any kind of bear market coming or some kind of a high time frame top. Right now there is no confirmation for it. What I would say is, yes, we end up showing that weakness, flip this, then I would say that this triple top would end up being very significant high time frame, or at least a mid time frame top. But for now, nothing. Big liquidation cascade, back down into support, strong reaction from it, and currently we're waiting for more data for the mid time frame low momentum to resolve, and for us to get a another pushback, another push up if we do end up getting this resolution. Here's the altcoin market cap on the weekly time frame. You can see from the total market cap we've had a much stronger last 3 weeks. Even the weekly so different from the total market cap. If you remove these wicks, this is just close to close prices just clearly been moving higher. Much better picture on lower time frames. Let's look at the 4-hour. Very clean structure. You can see bullish consolidation and a strong impulse out from that consolidation. And what have we done? We've come back down and tested the anchored VWAP from the initiation of this impulse. This is again, guys, not suggesting any kind of weakness. You want to see confirmation of upside. This is the big level to flip. There's the big resistance level. This 4-hour block. You can see we got such a powerful move down from it. So it's likely significant level. I'd say once price flips this into support, you get good probability for continuation. Outside of that, here currently we are at a significant resistance level here as well on a lower time frame. And essentially, again, this is where you should have completely de-risked, guys. Just look at this. Okay, market is already got a steep sell-off. Here's clean support level. Okay, we closed below this support level. And the thing is, you should understand that when price has moved away from this level, just look at it on a higher time frame. There's literally nothing here. There's no amount of time that price has spent in the middle. When that happens, it really opens up room for potential violence, in price. And essentially it has just done that, just very violent. Again, psychologically it has decimated a lot of people. I mean, you're waiting, you're buying these dips, but nobody's psychologically willing to buy these dips. So I would say that if you're failing to be able to find such good places to manage your risk, one, maybe there is some part of your system that you want to review, but another thing is you want to review your mindset, and what is happening. Like they're traders, guys, who are not looking at charts all day, who are not spending their time on trading view, yet they have the correct mentality to be able to capitalize on moments like this. And essentially you don't have to be thinking that this was the perfect place to buy and this is the kind of reaction you're expecting. It may be possible that you get another bounce and price comes back, but just the fact is you could get a bounce and the probability of that bounce becomes significantly high when you've gotten such a steep reaction to the downside. So it's just about that mentality that you're finding a good place to manage risk, and then after that, what if price is doing this, allow it to do this. You don't have a crystal ball that price is going to have this kind of a reaction from support, from this kind of a level. What you do have is the mentality of sentiment. What you do have is data on your side, where it's just showing everybody who has been in a trade is completely decimated. So when there are no people, when it's a ghost town, buy when nobody's buying, guys. Come on, you have to be able to figure this out. You're going to start regretting not knowing or not being able to have that mindset to understand when and how to buy the dips in a bull market. Like, see, we had strong reaction here. You could have been a buyer here, but you're not looking for a 1000% move from here. you're looking for a place to manage risk. Look what happened. Eventually price did come lower, and there was momentum setups. There's other technical setups that would support a buy like this, but a setup that's supporting buy like this, it is, yes, there is some technicality to it, but there is a lot of mentality involved in this. And you will see this time and time again in bull markets. You will see fierce liquidation wicks that will give you incredible opportunities. We don't know. I cannot say for sure the price will just reverse from here and never visit this level again. We could come back down again, but if you have the correct mentality, you will always be able to find the places of scarcity, and you'll always be able to know and have that balance to know what to do with it, rather than being caught up with what the narrative of crypto Twitter was here, that don't play leverage, don't play leverage, extreme fear. Look at what price has done. You're in an uptrend, guys. This is a very fierce uptrend. Look at this consolidation right here. I spoke about this before. It's a very bullish consolidation. Look at the impulse out of this consolidation. That is a very, very powerful impulse. Just if you want to look at it in terms of time and price, this is the entire market cap. It's done a 77% in 3 weeks. That's a very strong impulse for the entire market. You're looking at like a 3-4x for your leaders in this kind of a market. So you're getting one pullback, which just map out your fib. Just look at the pullback. So 50% pullback, and you're telling me that you're not able to find a place to manage risk. Just look at it. AVWAP 50% pullback. And for me, it was a different day. That is, those of you who are on the Discord, you knew. Fine, I was hedged here, but I did not have time. I'm doing this forever, guys. So this seems like an incredible opportunity and all of that. But since I'm doing this forever, there are times when there will be an excellent place to buy the dip. But I have in real life things to do. Being a full-time trader, there are different priorities that you have to take care of. But if you're there and you can see this, you should really be able to be confident and see this to be a good place to manage risk. Outside of everything that sentiment is doing, you had the maximum liquidations that we've had in the history of crypto. Of course, according to the amount of liquidity there is, that is fine, but essentially these are the kind of dips you're waiting for. So anyway, outside of that, for now this looks perfectly healthy and well in an uptrend. Very good reaction. Essentially there is a couple of significant probabilities. We can of course move back into a consolidation, but what I would say is this is very impulsive. You look at it, once we are having long consolidations, if price is getting so impulsive, I don't think we've had an impulse like this. Maybe out of this consolidation we had an impulse which was similar. Just look at it in terms of time and price. Yeah, about 114%. So you have an impulse like this, you wait for a good pullback, you get that. If you don't, you wait for structure, you wait for momentum to sort itself out. You just look at the momentum on the 4 hour. It's really dipped low, so this will have to resolve itself. It will be pretty difficult for price to just move straight up from here. So when it does have to resolve itself, I would say that there will be more setups to find for potential upside. And the point of negation, it is clear with the total market cap chart. So I've made it clear what the point of negation for it potentially being the first impulse of a reversal. That from the total market cap chart. But just for now, What I would say is that if you were there and you were you were very close to the market through this move up, and you got this dip and you had an opportunity, I would say that you should review, because I don't think this is technical, guys. This doesn't look very complex to me technically. I think what this looks complex to me is mentally, that's where this looks complex. And that's something that either you need to really build a system where you can start to trust it, or you just need to start to do some exercises which have to do with mentality, to be able to give you that mentality of dealing with what you have just experienced, because what happens is that this is not the first time it's happening. This happens again and again, and you'll see it time and time again in bull markets, that the most violent wicks is massive liquidations. They're such great opportunities, but it has to do with that sentiment. It has to do with you being able to resolve and have that presence of mind to deal with that sentiment. We had this drop here on the DeFi chart. It was down right back in the bottom, at the bottom right here. And 26th of March, I was telling you again that, this is exactly the place where the market was, when DeFi was doing this at the end of December. Very similar kind of flush, very similar kind of setup, very similar kind of liquidations, very similar kind of market sentiment. And look at the move we got out of that, so it was a spectacular move. So it is, just remember, guys, mentality, it is very I would say it's the biggest aspect of trading. And if you're really close to the market, that's something that you'll have to consciously be able to work on it, because it's the only thing that sets apart those that are great and those that are mediocre. So just know that, just understand, this is not an attack. This is a dip. It's a powerful dip. There is very good technical setups that support a potential to be able to catch that dip, but so I would say the only thing that wasn't in line for that is the mental. So just remember that, just know that. I know I have rambled upon it, but I'm just reasserting it, because that's what I want to see. You want to be a winner, you want to set yourself apart in this market, and you really want to build that potential for consistency. This is just what you need to be looking out for, and this is what you need to be looking at. And here we have Bitcoin on the weekly time frame. What you can see is basically a lot of sideways. This is, I would say, since the 15th of Feb, we've hit a brick wall, in the mid to low 60Ks. This is essentially a reflection of that, just so much high time frame supply. Just quickly look at the monthly. Yeah, you can see, look at this month, big wick here, but we closed above that wick, so still bullish, but still a few couple of weeks to go. So but essentially here this is showing quite clearly. Look at the reactions, rejection again. So in terms of momentum, this shows very cleanly as well. Let's look at the 3-day. So the first big impulse is the peak of the momentum on this big run for BTC, and just look at momentum since then. Made a big move up, divergence, another move up, divergence, another move up, divergence. So it's just showing that this is very significant in terms of a level. On my chart, I had 66K as a level. I think it's slightly front run. I don't know what the exact top is. 65. So we got 65-100 as the most recent rejection, and this again has been steep. For now it has been eaten up, but you can see what kind of resolution it needs. let's just look at it. Currently, what evidence we have on the 3-day, we have a very clean support level. This is the block that leads to this break in market structure, so I would say very clearly that Bitcoin has to lose this and flip this into resistance for this to be a confirmed top. If people are talking about that, this is how the market has to prove itself. And this is very significant level in terms of that. In terms of market structure, now what we have is a range, because on the 3-day time frame, so what you have is, see, a higher high, a higher low, you have a higher high, right? This, it has taken this and it's made a lower low. So you have a range currently, which is between 65,100 and close to 50k. This is the range currently BTC is within now, because we made a higher high, but we've also made a low low. So until the market moves out of this range, there is no confirmation of directionality. What evidence we have is that we have declining momentum. We have a confirmation of that declining momentum. Now we need to see what the resolution of these facts would be. In terms of market structure, we have this daily block up here. So what I would say is that if this, that is where the real negation lies, for a bearish case. Now, a confirmation of upside is only once we flip this into support. So this is way high up here. This is what very steep and strong movements do, guys. They give you levels of validation which are quite far apart. So we need to flip this daily block into support to confirm that yes, the market has strength and we're ready to go towards the upside. And this is the 3-day block that price needs to flip into resistance to confirm that okay, there's weakness here and this market is not ripe and it's not ready yet. So clear levels of validation and invalidation. There's little bits of noise in between. I'll just hide some of these levels. So yeah, BTC was close to losing its monthly open around about the time when I hedged. So this was something I had mentioned in the scalping channel before as well. But since we've come to a lower time frame, we come to the 12-hour. Essentially, this was the consolidation that I was looking at to potentially hold as support. Why? Because this was again a 12-hour structure which created this break in market structure. So this would have to be significant support if the market was to find strength and continue. Once price started to lose this, then you had to make another case for what price would have to do. And now that we have more information, now we can build some kind of a case for what price can do, which is once we flip this into, I'm just going to hide a couple of things. Charts getting messy on lower time frame. Yeah, so once we flip this into support, then we can be looking for upside. And you have a very clean channel, which again, look at how nicely this has been validated. I haven't touched it, but anyway, very nice validation again. Great level 50k was again 50k in terms of volume levels as well. This is a very, very big level in terms of where a lot of BTC has transacted and a lot of coins have left the exchange. So there's confluence on this level for positivity and for potential support. In terms of momentum, let's just look at the momentum on the 12-hour. Alright, so you can see this, right? So we have November, December, Jan, Feb, March. September is actually the last time where on the 12-hour the RSI has dropped to these levels. Look at this. It was literally a support level. this 3740 level. So this reflects on a midterm time frame what this drop did. It's a clear decline in momentum. So price will have to resolve this before it really starts to gain a lot of strength, which would mean that it can do anything. Essentially, we can come all the way up here and break back down again. And what this is showing me is, guys, we're seeing a bit of a picture over here. There's a stark difference between the altcoin market cap chart and the Bitcoin chart, which is showing significant strength for altcoins. And that can mean a couple of things. There is potential that this could be a midterm top, that's why altcoins are gaining strength, or there is potential for this to be that potential sideways consolidation before continuation for Bitcoin, and altcoins are capitalizing on that sideways. So we have a clear resistance level up here, which is the monthly open in confluence with the middle of this channel, and I would say that we could potentially get a reaction from here. We just look at the fibs right here. So yeah, it's pretty close to the golden pocket. We could potentially get a reaction from this level, and then we have to see what kind of a shape price has to build for us right now. Essentially we could find support at this previous weekly open, chop about, come all the way up here, but still get a sell-off. So very strong support level, very strong resistance levels, and the most ideal, I would say, considering the kind of strength alts have, is that BTC could range, could negate this channel, potentially could range, while alt BTC absolutely continues to rip like it has been over the last 3 weeks. So here's large caps against BTC. You can see this is so clean and so clear, guys. Look, a big significant weekly level. We did not break through this once we broke down all the way from July 2019. So this is 630-day range and consolidation that we have a confirmed weekly time frame breakout from. So do not be confused about where this market is going. This is, the longer the range, the stronger the move. The next big level is quite a bit higher up from here for large caps. That's another 40-50% move, and the significant high time frame level, which is the quarterly, is still another 70% away. So clean and very, very clear. We are above all resistances, and most likely on the daily we must have retested this. So look at this, we have a breakout and a retest of this weekly level. So a clean retest, this is clear. We got that retest yesterday, and should be looking for shape and looking for structure and looking for a potential continuation to this. Just go down to the 4-hour. 4-hour, you can see the reaction we've had. We've already completely retraced this. So if we do get some kind of a structure, guys, this is basically very clean trend. It's a very clear trend. Let me just map out the fib. It's also a very shallow retrace. If you map out this entire move, it's only about a 25% retrace. That happens very bullish markets. I'm anticipating that we get some kind of a structure, but a very powerful move out of here potentially for large caps. So I would say possibly this has to structure out, but you can see very clearly, guys, if you are into technical analysis, this is quite clean and quite clear. A breakout of a very long term range. On the 3-day, I think we have a significant level where there is some kind of a potential reaction that is possible. So you can see we had this level as support, flip this into resistance. So we have a level on the 3-day time frame, but I would say because price has just gone straight up, there is still potential for some kind of interaction with it. But after this, just look at the move down. This move down was very quick, so I would say that this move up could similarly be like that, because we don't have much price history here in the middle. So just know that, watch out for that. And I think this is very clean and very clear chart that shows us. There's another quick look I want to just have. Total to BTC USD. Just a quick look at this. Oh, here we have potentially a significant resistance. This is on the log. Here you can see that. You can see where we are. I don't have horizontal levels on this yet. It's a very rough chart. But if we remove this diagonal levels, just look at how clean this level is. Similar, it's similar to the large caps against BTC, but of course this ratio moves a bit differently, and that's why I chart large, small and mid caps differently. But you can see clear resistance level. Let's look at it on the weekly time frame. Here you go. Look, resistance on the weekly came back, became support, broke back down, tested as resistance. We have a weekly close above this. So as far as I'm concerned, on any higher time frame, odds against BTC is looking very, very strong, and would expect continuation in this market. Here's DeFi against BTC. Still has not broken out like large caps have. Significant resistance level, but you can see the difference now. Rather than having support, we are building a support above the VWAP. This is what I was talking about. This anchored VWAP from the August top, we have, from having it as resistance, currently over the last 2 to 3 weeks, we are finding support over here. So very, very tight range. I would say as soon as it resolves, should find strong expansion there as well. So it's just a matter of time and a matter of resolution. If price does flip this into support, we can expect this move up towards the measured move target for DeFi against BTC. Quick look at a very important stat for the traditional markets, and essentially the S&P 500 not violating the December low in the first quarter. Just look at how strong this statistic is. Only a couple of times when we haven't had a full positive return on the index, but the times we have, it has been the average and the median. Just look at it, 18 and 17%. Very, very high. Very, very telling statistic, and really powerful, guys. Some of these things that the computers can churn out, and I would say that we likely just follow the past results, for future performance, and we have a very, very good sample size for this. So I'd say it's something to keep in mind for having your trading strategy for the rest of the year. We've been tracking this since a long time. The significance of having the 2009 recovery and the 2020 recovery being pretty similar, and essentially what we were looking for was one potential sell-off in this year of 2021. When it happens, we cannot say. The VIX, I told you, is already broken below 20. So whenever a sell-off does come, this would be the big buy for the next 5-6 years, guys. And if we're looking at how price has been moving, currently we are outperforming 2020, by, I would say, 5 to 8%. 2020 we got a sell-off pretty close to somewhere around where we are. Maybe over the next 2 to 3 months we can get this. So I would say whenever we do look for it, I don't know how deep it will be. We will have to see how price is reacting whenever we do. But the market has been really, really powerful, guys. No matter what the narrative, you do know it doesn't go straight up. Absolutely love this comparison and this similarity. That's needless to say. We don't know how this correction would be or we are not completely sure we get that continuation. But what we do have is statistics, just like the ones I showed you in the previous chart, you know. So we have a lot of statistics that tell us to buy the dip whenever the dip does end up coming. For now, it's a slow grind up. The theme has not changed. Tech and growth is continuing to perform and do well. Of course, now medical devices and health will end up doing well also, with the narrative of the virus and the second wave continuing to hold strength. So here looking at the dollar, and this is something I'd mentioned before, even on Twitter, we are likely breaking down. We have about 108-day consolidation, a reaction, and everything, the entire market is showing that now another repricing will take place, and most likely the dollar is likely to come and continue its longer term downtrend that we had spoken about before. Looking at the equal weighted commodity index, is just a custom index I've created. It's not available on TradingView, and essentially just look at this very clean structure. It's a ramp, you know what ramps are, you follow me. Broke up, consolidated right above it. This is when I was talking about potential gold strength as well. Gold had a channel. Gold has found strength this week, but of course, most notably, we have looked at copper already. Copper is close to making new highs, and lumber is actually absolutely running. You know, so just commodities. This is what the dollar is essentially reflecting. You know, and quickly, since we have looked at the dollar already, and you can see it is potentially possible that that second consolidation is doing what it is. It's reflecting in the commodities already. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and go ahead and share it with someone else. And if you have any questions about what we covered today, please leave them in the comments and I will be sure to get back to you or answer them in my next video. For more trading content and education, go ahead and click on the video on your right. Thanks for watching, guys, and cheers!